Star Wars, especially in Hollywood, has had a very bad rep for being underperforming, not being the best, not being as capable as people want it to be, because certain directors, certain producers make a lot of dumb decisions. The good thing about the Star Wars franchises, especially with games, we've come to realize that there have been a lot of games, especially post the EA agreement with Disney, that Star Wars games have become more and more popular, more and more rich with storytelling, well, I won't say feature rich because we just went through Battlefield 2. Just got a new trailer for the upcoming game, Star Wars Outlaws. And yeah, if you've been on Twitter, if you've been on X or whatever you call it, you probably have an idea how bad this has turned out to be. Well, on this channel, we're going to talk about what I think about it, what I think you guys would think about it as well, being men and women of culture. And you know what? Let's just dive into the topic. Men and women of culture, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Senzu, back at it again, back with another video. Thank you for watching the videos. Do like, comment, and subscribe. If you've noticed that my voice and if you noticed that I'm feeling weak today, it's because, you know, I just recovered from flu. But you know what? The show must go on. So without further ado, let's hop back into why Star Wars Outlaws is a game that I'm intrigued by, but I'm not exactly excited by. With Star Wars, everything has always been about the space wizards. Everything has always been about the Jedi, the Sith, good against evil, but we've never actually come down to the pinpoint of what makes Star Wars truly a great franchise and a great galaxy to explore. And it has to do with the people. It has to do with the people that look like us, that don't have superpowers, but just as conniving, kind, witty. You know, Andor was probably my best, honestly speaking, Andor was probably the best Star Wars series I've watched in a long time, better than Kenobi for me. So playing a game that focuses on the outlaw, that focuses on the underbelly of the Star Wars franchise, like Mandalorian. Mando is so great because of how good he is and because of how the storytelling is so fixated on dealing with these criminals, for lack of a better word. Star Wars Outlaws seems to be a game that focuses on, you know, criminal activity, you making a name for yourself as, I don't even know what her name is. I'm not entirely sure how the story is going to plan out and how it's going to play out, but I do know for a fact that I'm intrigued by a game that focuses on the underbelly, similar to Star Wars 1313, which we never got because it got cancelled. I'm not going to say this is a spiritual successor, but it's the best we can get right now. Even though it is a Ubisoft game, which comes down to my first points of why I'm not exactly as excited as I should be. As an Ubisoft game, we already know what it's going to be. We're going to have an open world that's going to be formulaic, filled with checklists and stuff like that. Not saying every single Ubisoft game is bad, but at some point, most Ubisoft games became very repetitive and formulaic. But then you have the odd surprises like Prince of Persia that just came out this year, and I don't know why it's not talked about as much as it should be. That game is fire. That game is flames. That game fucking rules. I hope this is going to be a Prince of Persia and not an Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now look, I know a lot of you enjoyed Valhalla for what it was. I played it for about 30 hours and I said, you know what, this is too much. I played enough. Hopefully Star Wars Outlaws pinpoints something that we are missing from an open world game, which has to do with pacing, storytelling, and appropriate world exploration. I'm not talking about looking at a check mark and looking at a checklist of everything you should go about doing in the game. I'm talking about being able to pique the player's interest in, oh, why don't you go over there? The same old, the age-old phrase of, oh, you see that mountain? Climb it. I'm not saying I want that. It doesn't even have to be an open world. That's another thing about me. I'm not entirely sure of how I feel about every single game publisher and game dev is going into open world games. What happened to the more streamlined experiences like your Spyro? Your Jedi Survivor was a brilliant game, even though it was broken on release. It was a brilliant game in regards to the pacing, in regards to what the game set out, and in regards to what the game was actually willing to do. So it's going to be an open world video game, and you know how I feel about open world games. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss. Hopefully this is going to be a hit, but I won't be surprised if it's a miss. And finally, we're going to come to the very, you know, I didn't want to talk about this initially because, you know, on this channel, we rarely talk about controversies in regards to games because we all have jobs, we all have things we're doing. We don't have time to be talking about why video game characters look as ugly as they should be. Similar to how the whole Stellar Blade thing was like, okay, the video game character looks too sexy. That's the problem. It's dumb people on both sides of the aisle. I don't care what anyone tells me. But I don't understand why there's a controversy for the female character lead's face not looking attractive. It's a Star Wars game. You're playing the game because it's a Star Wars game. Yes, you're playing as a female lead, but it's a Star Wars game. Focus on the Star Wars game and not the... You guys are all cultured on this channel. What doesn't have to be explained, doesn't have to be explained. It doesn't need to be said. you already get where I was trying to go with this. If you are on the aisle of, hey, the video game character looks bad, the video game character looks stiff, I agree with you. The current story trailer that we just saw, that just came out recently, I think April 9th, looked stiff to me. That was the only thing I'm like, this looks stiff. This trailer looks stiff. The characters are moving stiff. But apart from that, I felt everything else was fine. Even the video game character's face was stiff. But I'm like, you know what? I'm used to video game characters' faces looking stiff and not having like state-of-the-art face animations or whatever. At the end of the day, is the game fun or not? If it's fun, good. If it's not, yeah. So yeah, that was just my quick little conversation about Star Wars Outlaws and what I think about the game, why I think it's going to be good, my hesitance, why I'm so hesitant towards the game. Spoiler, it's an Ubisoft game. Leave in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you have any other thoughts that you could bring up about this whole Star Wars game that's like, I'm not entirely sure it's going to do well, but I will say it's better for you to come up with measured expectations in regards to what you want this game to be to you. Don't expect this game to be the next coming of Christ or what you have not. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope to hear from you soon. Hopefully I get better, and then yeah, I'm posting out more content and looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. And yeah, before I go, I'm about to finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I don't know how I feel about that. The good thing is I can play other games now because I've only been playing Rebirth for the past 2 months because I obviously have a job and whatever. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope to hear from you soon. Peace.